Hi, Tom again with another little video on some of the technologies we can use for playing with our images. This is one where I thought I'd discuss some of the things we can do with filters, and I was looking at Amanda's post here. She's got this image here that was a rather attractive image of I think it was taken at Green Mountain Homestead. And so I downloaded it, I hope you don't mind, Amanda, and just to show some of the things we could do. So I've got it on my desktop and I'm going to open it in Bridge here, and in Bridge I'll just double click on this and it'll open up in Photoshop. Now in Photoshop we can do all the things that we've been learning about, you know, applying adjustment layers and whatnot, and doing a fair bit with that. But with the filters though, one of the important things to recognize what you've got here in filters is your foreground color. So on the bottom of the tool panel here on the left, I'll just click on that set foreground color and make sure I've got a nice darkish brown for this one, because it might suit some of the filters we might apply in here. And now to apply this filter, I'm going to duplicate the layer here. Now I've got a couple of ways of doing this. I can just drag it over this little icon down the bottom here and it will duplicate the layer. I'll just undo there. The other way to do it would be to right click on it and say duplicate layer, and I can give it a name. I might call it the filtered here. And now I'll go up to my filter and I'll go to my filter gallery here, and I can look at different things in here. So there's a sketch one. This is defaulting to that because I was looking at that before, but I'll just reduce this slightly because it's coming up as full page here and you're not seeing the whole thing, of course. So you can get some interesting effects just straight off. Look at that there, the cutout is a rather attractive way. But what I thought might be an interesting one is using this sketch one here and using the graphic pen. And what that does is it creates, well, you can see what it does there. It's creating a layer that's going to give us some interesting effects. I can change some of the variables there. I can change the stroke length if I like, but the longer stroke length is pretty good probably. I can change the dark light balance. I might just make it slightly darker there, and then if I OK that, it applies that to that layer. Now here's something that we haven't looked at an awful lot: the blending of layers. So right now, if I switch that layer off, I see the underlying there with the original picture. So we've got two layers sitting one on top of the other. If I change the way the layers blend through this dialog here, and I can tell it I want to multiply, then you can see what it does here. It actually puts the altered layer, the filtered layer, on top of the other layer and puts the two versions together. And with this intact now, I can change the opacity of that, so I can reduce the intensity of what I'm doing there by just moving this slider here, or I can also bring in changes. I might want to change the brightness contrast of that filtered layer. So if I do that, I'll just click on this little icon down the bottom here to say it's only going to affect the filtered layer. And then I can change the brightness and contrast of that. I can make that darker, maybe increase the contrast a bit perhaps, and make changes as I like there. Now that's non-destructive. I can go back and change that at any time just by double clicking on here, and I get back to my controls for changing that. And again, I could then say, okay, I want to drop that opacity back a little bit here because it's getting a bit too strong there. And you can see you end up with quite an interesting image. So do have a play with the filters and see what you can come up with photographs that suit those filters. This one I thought was a particular one that suited all this. See you again next time.